Beautiful. Early June day. Nice and toasty. It's about 82 right now. People honking their horns at us because they see the very famous blue kayak sitting out here. Look, is that a piece of art? Piece of a boat? It looks fiberglass to me. I'll take a look at that thing later. Might have some artistic possibilities attached to it, you know. It looks like it's blue and earth tones added on to it by the ones out here, you know. Man, look at that. I know the clouds, the sky is perfectly blue. It is. It's just different today. We'll get to that in a little bit. You already know what that's from, that haze. I'm out here to look at all this today. Staring at a bunch of green for about 7-8 hours, whatever. It's about 11:45 right now. It's almost that time of year. The apex of the sun being up in the sky. Off they go, trying to find some fish. The waves are going to push us to something. I know exactly what it is. I see it right there, optical illusion. I come across this all the time when we go out, no matter what we're doing. You just have to know how to see it. My crazy videos. The cross right there. See it? Oops. Sorry about the shaky video. Not Da Vinci style when it's shaky. There it is right there. I think I've gone too far. As far as where the waves are pushing us. They're making the... Hold on. Let me get it right. They're putting the cross itself, the crossbar, across the top, the horizontal one. They're bringing it further down on the stick, the one that it's meant to combine with at a certain perspective. I'm trying to get back. Hold on. This is crazy, this game out here. Watch that thing form right there. My videos are not meant to be scary. They're not. They know that I know. They know I'm going to see it and notice it. Look at the bottom part on the right-hand side. It fits really right. Where's my finger at? That part right there. See how it just blends in with the background, the shadows? And it just creates the cross. So you don't see where that other stick is coming from in the ground. You don't see that. You just see that combined with the background. There's your first cross for today. Amateurs, you know what? No, I'm talking about the video. I'm not talking about the the cross. I'm not talking about the nature out here that creates those things. You know, like the crescent moon and all other stuff, the stars, and the triangles and stuff. I'm talking about my shaky video with the pixelization. Amateur, man. Can it ever get any better? Thank you for that one. That's better. Unplug the headsets. Something up with the headsets though. They always give this little white noise effect in the videos, which makes it sound like I'm talking next to an old TV back in like 1983 or something that's turned to channel 5 with no reception. You know, the antennas aren't working out. That was a turtle right here. I've seen a couple of turtles so far, a couple of babies. They were cute. One was like close to the kayak when I first got here. And it just swam right under. I think, you know, I know I scared it. Wonder how many people gonna be fishing up here. Man, I got so much to do, guys, I do. I mean, there's no time. You're gonna say you got time today to try a few things, you know. Boy. That's why I'm out here chilling, just realizing how much time I don't have. You know, I mean, I was thinking about this. I've known this for like all my eternities and stuff out here. I know my videos are crazy. I'm just trying to transfer all the information to you guys, ladies and gentlemen. But what you're looking at right here, you know, you got to realize that every religious symbol that you know about that exists out in nature. You just have to find them. Man, that's a masterpiece right here. This sycamore looks like they're kind of ill. Maybe that's just because the birds have been hanging out at the top and just, you know, keeping them from growing too much at the top. But that's a climber right there. That is a climber. Well, if the branches were low enough. I mean, you can get up there with a ladder. High enough to climb. Look at that. They got the branches in the perfect spot. Man, would I ever love to climb that thing. I don't have a ladder out here, though. I think it's illegal to climb the tree, though. I mean, it belongs to the feds out here. Army Corps of Engineers, you know, the Park Service, that kind of thing. That's their tree, not ours. But you're gonna lie. You're gonna say, hey man, you're lying. You pay your taxes, don't you? You pay your taxes. Yeah, you dang skimpy, I pay my taxes. And I donate to these guys too out here. I do. And I clean it up. Try to clean these places up. But and you're gonna say, hey, well that tree belongs to you because it belongs to everybody, the public. Those are our trees. They don't belong to the feds. Even if it's on their property. You know, it's yin and yang the way you think about that kind of stuff, though. It is. But think about that, though. How come no one ever comes out to try to find the religious symbols? I'm not a religious guy, not. I told you that many thousands of times in my videos. I'm just a bit of everything. But it doesn't mean that I'm ultimately religious. I know religion is supposed to lead you to something. It is. It's supposed to lead you to something. So you can find it all. Beautiful out here, though. About time I've seen all that thick green out here. Nice and green. Money grows on trees. It does. All you gotta do is just see it out here. Just like all these religious symbols. No matter what it is, it's always going to be in nature. No matter how curvy it is, how many angles it is, no matter what it represents, it's always going to be in nature. It is. You just have to find the geometries of it. Imagine how spiritual you would be if you came out exploring through nature on purpose. So you can find those logos, emblems, symbols. They're everywhere. Infinity. It never ends. But they want you to find them, no matter what religion you follow. That's why I like being a bit of everything. That's one reason why I love being everything, even though I'm not religious. Because as a whole, when they're all combined, it's more than just religion. It's something else, something more powerful. So when you accept them all, you love them all, you're one with all of them. It makes everything easier to find because you're a part of it all. Every last one of them. Something doesn't look right here. It doesn't. I mean, look how beautiful this grass is right here. All these other ones, even the line work right here, trying to give you those not gang signs. We'll not call them gang signs. Gang signs in heaven. You know, the line work and stuff like that. You just got to play around with the perspective of it, you know, combined with everything else. And they know it. But something doesn't seem right. Looks like I got to get my sore butt out of the kayak again. Man, we got 2 cans right here that are taking away the feeling of it. And we're about to bring it back. Man, this is a silty zone. You know it's going to go up to the... Uh-oh, it's starting to bubble already. You know how dangerous these zones are. The silty zones, man. I remember this one time. I was in a very particular location. You know, they were talking about the treasure, all that kind of stuff in the video when I was asking questions. And someone said on audio, out of nowhere, they just said something so random. They said, dredging soon. Dredging soon. Man, look at that. Imagine how young you would probably look if you put your face, coated your face in this at least once a day. That mask. Cool. Yeah, I'll never forget that though. I still don't know what they mean by that. Dredging soon. And I was in a location where they don't dredge. They have no reason to dredge. But I think I know what they meant by dredging. They do that thing out here all the time. But it has nothing to do with this particular location where I'm sitting. It has something to do with the water itself, the waterway, the Chattahoochee. And I know why too. All I gotta do is just follow the lines. I'm looking and listening. I think someone's right here. A female voice. I heard him right here. You know, it always sounds mechanical, always sounds like they're humming. They said one of 2 things, I think. They said, they don't love me, or, you know you love me. I know I heard love me, but I can't quite, I had trouble hearing what they said. The first 2 words. Right here. Dang, look at that. Look how gorgeous it is out here. It's almost like you can lay down in this all day and be content with it. Be happy. You know, it's quite possible that all these boulders and stuff, this outcropping, bedrock, was actually under land before they built the dam. I mean, look how the soil just stops right here. I've always tried to study that around places like this, you know? There could be anything under the ground, under the soils and stuff. I mean, there was probably a few spots that were exposed. It's almost like it's these zones up here, the spots that are exposed, the tiny little areas that are exposed, that led them to the spot where they wanted to build, you know, Beaufort Dam. Decided to build Beaufort Dam. Dang, that's a large fishing spotter. See you later. I mean, you can see where the waters were right here. Probably last couple weeks. The sand is just like sitting there, hanging on. That's the weird thing about the lake, though. I mean, the way it's designed. I mean, think about how it plays with your emotions when the waters go low. I mean, these waters are probably 3.5 feet lower than normal. Well, what I'm used to, that is. But all those times from like back in like the mid 2000s or the later 2000s, like 2007, 2009, whatever, when we had that drought, when the waters went so low that you couldn't do jack on the lake. You couldn't do anything. Just like all the other ones. Lake Mead. All those other ones. But think about what it does to your emotions when the waters get that low. It's like yin and yang. When the waters get too high, you panic. You think it's the end of the world. When the waters get too low, you think the same thing. It plays with your emotions like you would never imagine. You don't accept it for what it is. You don't. It's almost like it's a game to the government to do that kind of thing. You know? Build a lake, back up a lake, build a dam. Let the waters go high, let the waters go low. Bring panic to the public. Gets televised on the news. Oh no, we're in a severe drought. The lake waters are so low. Well, think about it. The lake wasn't meant to be here. The human race designed the dam to help everything below. The city of ATL, Sandy Springs, all those other areas, Norcross. Bring electricity down there, the power. And whatever happens up here is just what happens. What a mind game. But it was always the river up here. All those thousands of years. It was always just the river. And it was always flowing. Drought or no drought. So anytime that the waters go high, go low, especially when they go low, I mean, just accept it for what it is. Because the lake wasn't meant to be here. It wasn't. But the river was. Ease that stress within the mind, you know. Don't worry about it. Because you caused it. Don't you trust yourself? Now you want to talk about freezing time. Thinking that airplanes freeze in midair. Thinking about birds freeze in midair. And other things too. You talk about being frozen in time. I mean, just like the lake, there's always that one spot. I told you that a couple of times. There's always that one perfect spot within the lake where time stands still. Where the waters that flow stop at one particular point. Where the waters back up, you know. Always that one perfect spot where you can always find truth. Hey, look, there's a side profile. Oops, I missed it. Yeah, but this thing, like, you know, I love it. I do. It's different. It's different. Different kind of landscape compared to a few hundred years ago, for real. But I mean, just think about it, though. How time stands still out here because you built the dam. Slow time down. I wonder if that's what they meant when they said time is broken because you stopped the waters out here. Well, not just here, any dam. You stopped the flow of the water. So you froze time in one particular spot. Time is broken. Makes me wonder about that, though. I mean, if you freeze time and it stands still in particular locations, how can it be broken? I mean, if you have an ice cube and it's frozen stiff, frozen solid, it's not broken, is it? Unless you hammer it or something. Look, there's a side profile. You'll never see him. Still can't get it right. It's hard playing this game. Looks like one of the elders. You got the mouth, chin, nose, eye, forehead. Always watching over these places. God, I love the grass. I mean, check that out. It's almost like everybody is backyard heaven. And don't say it needs to be mowed either. You know what? I wish I could cover more land. Every time I went out, but some of the time I just want to chill. I mean, look at that. Have to take it all in as much as I can, you know? All of us do. Think about it. But you don't come out to try to see. think I'll just chill here for about an hour, hour and a half maybe. Relax. Get back on the river. Maybe only about 30 minutes. Welcome back, one and all. 6:45. Man, what the heck do I get myself into? I'm trying to get going. I'm burned out at the moment. I just noticed something. Hold on. The heck is this thing right here in the water? Hold on. I'm trying to get to it. I don't want to get out of the kayak because the sands are like quicksand through here next to the bedrock right here. Whatever this is right here. It's granite rock. Hold on. I don't want to lose my spot. Yeah, I don't want to get out of kayak because it's like quicksand. I stepped out of this thing earlier when I had to go back to the vehicle. Yeah. And it went up to the knees. No, I didn't lose my shoes. These things are tight. Hold on. Let me get to it. Let me get to it. Hold on. I know you're anxious. It looks like a toy dinosaur. Oops. Someone needs to be saved out here. Hey, look at this. I know it's a piece of garbage. But we found it out here, which means what? We're going to collect it and add it to the stash. What does that say? 1999. Bat Tat. Bat Tat, 1998. I think it says 1998. It could be 1999. Made in China. Weird how I find just random dinosaur stuff all over the place, you know? In random locations. How does this happen to us? I guess it's supposed to squirt something out of its mouth. Very cool indeed. Hold on. Let me add them right here. I don't know if it's male or female. I'm not about to look. Yeah, let me be safe out here, man. I mean, I'm trying to get going. I don't need to be stepping out of this thing going up to the waist in quicksand. Yeah, man, I had to go back to the kayak. I did. You'll never believe what happened, but I stayed out here a little bit more and took a little cat nap, you know. But get a load of this, man. You'll never believe it. Had to go back and get the charger. All the way back to the vehicle to get the charger. And I picked up some garbage too, so I dropped that crap off. Yeah, but I got out here and decided to get out and stretch my legs just for a little while. You know, there's like some kind of waterfall behind us kind of deal. You know, water flowing over the bedrock and stuff like that. And I was just sitting there chilling, walking around. There's like some old homestead over here on the other side. And I was just doing my own thing. And next thing you know when you hit the iPhone and it makes like little bumping sensations, you know, like you hit too many buttons or something like that. You hold down a combination or something like that. Anyway, what ended up happening is that the battery went dead because I accidentally turned on a flashlight and an hour went by. And I had no idea a flashlight was on in the kayak. Down here. So the battery had like 2% left on the battery when I found out what I did wrong. And I want to know why the flashlight was on when I picked up the iPhone. So I accidentally turned that flashlight on, drained the battery after shooting all that video earlier. But I had to go all the way back to get the charger and let it charge for a good 3 hours. What a mistake. $7:20. Well, it doesn't look like we're going to have much of a sunset. The clouds are rolling in, but you know, it could be the Could be the silt and smoke from Canada, too. You know, a good hard rain for about 2 hours will wash it right out of the sky. Cool, but that's alright though. It's just gonna get darker earlier. That's all that means. But check this out. I love finding things like this, but I've looked at this for the course last couple of years. Look at the original sand layer, right there. And then look at the silt layer when they backed up Lake Lanier. Check out this neon green grass. Something's up in the woods. Could have been a deer. Don't know if it was a bear. I heard something. I don't want this day to end. The weekends are too short as it is. Man, look at all that green. Look how broad it is over here. Welcome to heaven. I don't know what I'm looking for. I guess I'm looking for the signs. Trying to put myself in the right frame of mind. I mean the right perspective. When it comes to me just moving through time and space. Whatever it is, it's always going to be out here. Everywhere I go. Man, would that ever make a nice picture? With the green grass, the river, everything's nice and clean. You got the tree on the left right here. Have two people standing there like a bride and groom. That would be quite the picture. People dressed in white, like two people. And everything's green all around them. Always thinking. About time I set it free. For real. Held on to it long enough. Nice sentimental object. These things were canned back in 1978. Used to have a date on top. Collard greens, and they're still green. Corrosion decided to open it up. The laws of nature decided to open it up. Things been in my freezer. Every time I moved, no matter what I did, it was always in the freezer. Even when times I had nothing in the freezer for months, this was the only thing that was in there. "45 years. This thing's been in here. Very sentimental object to me. It is. I found it back at Grandpa's house after the roof and the ceilings collapsed. Went back there back in like 2002, 2003 or something like that, digging through all the collapsed portions of the house, trying to find stuff. And then I found this fully intact under a bunch of rubble. But I can't hold on to it any longer. It's almost like, when you protect stuff too much, it's the only thing on your mind. And that goes for everything. Like your technologies, your hard drives, whatever it is, your vehicles. It puts you into a different mindset, a different way of living. Just like the baby tree of life I was trying to get to grow. It's almost like I couldn't go anywhere without them if I decided to travel far. Had to take them with me. Or I couldn't go too far because I knew I had to water them. And just like this, I always had to have the freezer running to make sure it was always frozen and protected until the times that the power went off and caused this. Just corrosion. Nothing more I can do about it except set it free, 1978. No, I haven't dumped it out. Not yet, anyway. I'm thinking. Always trying to hold on to things, And I'm not a hoarder. I'm not. It's just something that happened to me. Not too long ago. You already know about it. I found something. And it's so amazing, so incredible that nothing else compares. Nothing else compares. And nothing ever will. I mean, what am I trying to say? What it'll do to you when you find it. Find them. The most humbling thing ever. It'll humble you for sure. To let you know what's more important. And nothing else compares. And ever since that point in time, back in like 2017, 2018, I just been feeling like I want to get rid of all the stuff, Everything I've ever owned. Everything I've ever desired will never compare. Nothing will. Because the treasure's so great, so powerful, so incredible. It's almost like once you find it, everything's good. In your life, that is. Makes me want to let go of everything that I've ever owned and just come out and be within it. What a feeling indeed. And it'll definitely set you right. It will. You will never desire anything else ever again. You know, like material things. And whatever you're looking for. To be rich, famous. You'll never want it again. Because nothing can compare to what you found. The seriousness of it, the power of it, the importance of it. No matter what you strive to look for, it'll never compare. And everybody's always looking for the best in whatever they're looking for. And that's one of the problems with the treasure. That's one of the issues. Somebody's coming. Any snakes over here? Look at that stuff right here. Makes me want to build something. No snakes, that's weird. But I tell you what, the one thing that you'll desire that has to do with the treasure is life itself. In the end, that's the only thing that you'll desire, is life. And to be alive, and be thankful for it. Beautiful. Always trying to hang on to something. I know Grandma canned these things. The same age as me. I don't know if I'll keep the can or not. I'm gonna have to though. Look at that, man. That's cool. Just like all the other stuff out here too. 45 years old. No reason to be so selfish to hang on to it. A lot of memories in that thing. And it's vegetables. That's crazy though. A lot of time collected in these things, in this can, this jar. Return it back to where it belongs, nature. Because it was never eaten. anything left. Whatever it is, it belongs to them. Thanks for what you give us.